Welcome to your online coffee break, where we discuss bite-sized topics that inspire, educate, and entertain. Here's your host, a software innovator, award-winning marketer, and astronomy and space buff, Chuck Fields.
Hello, thanks for joining me today for your online coffee break. Today, it's my privilege to introduce our special guest, Jordan Gillis. Jordan is a multi-talented artist who can both sing and play the guitar. In addition to performing cover gigs, he also writes his own music and provides guitar lessons to children, youth, and adults. He is passionate about using his skills and talents to give back to his community and plays the guitar at his church every Sunday. Jordan recently released his newest album called 1,000 Miles Acoustic, and later in this episode, he'll perform his new song from the EP called Don't You Ever. Hey everybody, thanks again for joining us today. Over the next few weeks, I'd like to invite you on a musical journey. In addition to today's interview with Jordan Gillis and his amazing acoustic music, next week we'll be featuring Martha Davis of the Motels. You may remember their top 10 hits, Only the Lonely and Suddenly Last Summer. The week after that, we're going to be featuring music legend Ralph Johnson of Earth, Wind and Fire and rapper FKM, whose new hit Feel So Proud is climbing the charts like crazy. Anyway, we want to thank you for just going on this journey with us. Did want to also let you know that we did form a Patreon page. If you'd like to show us some support, we can be reached at patreon.com/online coffee break. We've also opened an online shop. That is at onlinecoffeebreak.com/shop. In that you can purchase all kinds of things that just help us out. We've got some unique custom coffee mugs. We've got rocket launch photos. We've got cool hats, cool apparel, whatever. But at any rate, we just want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today. Now back to the interview. Here's Jordan Gillis.
Online coffee break.
Jordan, thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy to have you here. I tell you, your music is incredible. But what really impressed me so much about you is the variety of music that you're just great at doing. I mean, there's rock, funk, soul, jazz, even heavy metal and country music. And I've just got to ask, where's your passion come from? What drew you into the music field?
I don't know. I just started playing guitar. I don't really know. I mean, when I started playing, I kind of was actually motivated to play it because I always thought it was kind of cool. And then actually these Guitar Hero video games were out, and
Right.
I wasn't any good at that, but I thought I would get good like at the real guitar. So I went to I bought like a really cheap guitar from like Best Buy or something like that, and and it was just like this cool thing to have, and then I was just practicing all the time, and I just realized that I was kind of obsessed with the guitar. So for about the first 3 months, I didn't seem to get that much better. But then after the next 3 months, I got way better. And I was practice like 12 hours a day. So I figured that's what I should be doing, because all I was doing all day, every day was just playing.
Yeah, I've heard you have a tremendous work ethic on that. I heard, as a matter of fact, you were playing up to like 12 hours a day, almost every day. And then you get upset if you missed a day.
Right. Yeah. So like if I didn't get that practice in, I just kind of like felt like kind of depressed, and that usually wasn't my fault. That was usually some kind of life thing getting in the way,
Yeah.
Have to take care of yourself, go to work and all that kind of stuff. I had obligations even then. So sometimes I wouldn't do it. And I just wanted to just only, all I cared about at the time was just music. And that was all I wanted to talk about and all I wanted to do.
Well, now obviously you're a fantastic guitar player, but you have this tremendous voice. So when did you tie the singing? Did singing come in about the same time or earlier? Or where'd that come from?
I would sing a little bit early on,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought kind of was very critical of myself, and I thought that I really, maybe wasn't that great. But different things happened to build my confidence. I got in a band that I started with this guy who I wanted to be the lead vocalist, and he was the lead vocalist. But I showed him a song I wrote. I actually showed him this song, the Don't You Ever song that
Excellent, which is coming up.
It's coming up later. And he said, "Hey man, that sounds really good, man." He's like, "You sound good." I was like, "Really?" And when he told me that my voice was good, that helped me build my confidence. And then before I know it, I was put in a situation where I had to front the band, and then I'm just singing all the time. So, and I really, so I kind of had to front the band at one point, and then I realized, oh, I can front a band. I can front the band, you know. And so then I started saying, okay, I got to really work on my voice too, like an instrument, you know.
Well, I tell you, it's impressive about that. So the band is kind of what drew you into the singing field. And I just have to ask, when you were with a band, is that when you started performing for the first time?
Yeah, the first time I performed, I was actually a hired gun for this. Before any band, the first performance I had was I was a hired gun for this girl, pop. She was an aspiring pop singer.
Nice.
I just kind of got hired to play her songs, and that was my first time playing in front of somebody. So, and I just played guitar, and you know, that was my first time. And then I just played. I started this other band that was very short lived. We did one show.
Really?
And then and then I did another, audition for a few bands, rehearsed with them, jammed with them for a while, then eventually started my own band. I joined this other band that I'm still friends with to this day. They're called Greasy Hands.
Mm-hmm.
They were like a jam band. They kind of, I got a lot of camaraderie from those guys, and I'm still friends with those guys, and
Great.
we still collaborate to some degree. So, I've been in a few bands, but all of it led me to starting my own band. I realized that I have to do my own thing,
Yeah, and that's called the Jordan Gillis Band. I was just wondering,
Yeah.
where did you meet the band members for that band?
Well, I met most of them on gigs. So the drummer I met playing with a mutual friend of ours. For the first time, I was playing with her. She needed a drummer, she needed a guitar player, and she was singing, and I was singing and playing guitar.
Right.
And I met him through that, and then I remember I had to play somebody wanted me to play their what was it, it was not an anniversary or something like that, I think it was an anniversary actually.
Uh-huh.
And they said, we want to have this band at our house, and I was like, hey, you guys want to play this little anniversary party? So I got this guy Roger on the drums to play with me, and that's Roger Stewart. He's the drummer.
Excellent.
And then the bass player, I met him in a similar way, just playing on a gig. I needed a bass player one time, and then
And he keeps
it kind of stuck. And my friend Mike, he actually was doing engineering work for our band, so he's also a sound engineer, but he's also an amazing keyboard player. And so Mike Bodine, I got him to he was getting tired of doing all the covers and all that stuff. So I was like, hey man, I'm starting a project. We're doing original music, and we're still doing some covers, but you don't have to do that stuff with us.
Excellent.
Just focus on the original stuff. And so Mike Bodine, the bass player, not bass player, keyboard player, that's how I met him. So.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
Jordan, so your original music, I just have to ask, because I think it's incredible. You got the new EP out. It's on iTunes and Spotify. What's your creative process? How do you come up with your original music?
It's different. Sometimes, sometimes a song will just come to you.
Mm-hmm.
But lately the way the songs have been coming to me, and I've lost a lot of good songs, honestly, is, I'll be asleep, and I'll dream of an idea. And then if I wake up quick enough and play my guitar quickly enough and try to get it recorded, then I'll have a good song idea. But if I don't, then most of the time I forget it. And I think there's no way I'm going to forget this,
Yeah.
And I always do. So I always make sure that I always try to get up and record it or play it, the idea that's in my head, because it always disappears. And then I just lost a great song. So I've lost a lot of great songs, that I think I could have written. But I don't know. I still have these dreams where I'll hear music in my head, and then
Wow.
that kind of allows me to, write a song. Yeah.
I think that's so fascinating, especially coming to you in the middle of the night and stuff like that. I know I'm definitely not productive after midnight. So just waking up with a song idea in my head, that's got to be just amazing for you.
Normally it's usually around 4 a.m., 3 a.m. But I sleep weird too. Sometimes a lot of times I don't get home till that late. But
Yeah.
if I get to sleep earlier than that, I usually will wake up around 3 for some reason, and I'll stay up for a couple of hours and then go back to sleep. And that's usually when I feel creative, 3 in the morning.
Okay.
So
Now, Jordan, let me ask you this. So your band, you've toured all over the country, basically. Did you ever, I don't know if you still do, but did you ever get nervous performing in front of a crowd? And how did you work through that, if you did? Or?
never. I've
Never?
just never
Wow.
been nervous. Yeah.
Comes natural.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been nervous for that's I'd be more nervous in a more intimate setting, like if it's one person
Sure.
and they said just sing me a song or something like that. That would make me more nervous. But singing in front of like the more people there are, the less nervous I am.
I totally get that. Totally get
Yeah.
that. Um, as you have toured all over the U.S., is there any favorite venue experience that you could share with us?
Um, yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, there's a lot of cool venues. We earlier this year we did a gig at the Soundry. That was pretty cool.
Hmm.
It's pretty well set up where they have it's really supportive of music, and I think there should be tons of music venues like that. And I just recently had a show at the 8 by 10
Nice.
with this opening up for this band called People's Blues of Richmond,
Hmm.
and or PBR for short. And that was a really good show, and those guys were really cool. They were really nice to everybody that played on the bill. There was another band called Matt Black,
Yeah.
also that was in the middle of that set. Those three bands. So yeah, it was a cool. 8 by 10 has always been a good place for original music around here.
Hmm.
I've gotten to play at the Whiskey a Go Go in LA, which is kind of famous, but it's really similar to a place like the 8 by 10, really, which is in Baltimore. And just those kind of places, that really support, live music. All of those places are, really important for the music scene.
Jordan, I think that's incredible. And one thing too that I'm really impressed by is you actually, as I understand, you teach guitar lessons to children and youth. And I was just wondering for the aspiring musicians out there who want to kind of follow in your footsteps, what advice would you give to them?
Well, and yeah, not just kids, and I teach like in youth, but also like I taught people that are, much older.
Nice.
Teach people, a lot of adults too. But yeah, what I'd say, and I have a lot of good kids. I'd say, start, if you want to be a songwriter, start writing songs, and no matter what skill level you're at. Even if you just know three chords, and if you have a song idea, write it, and start writing songs at every level. And you gotta and just understand that confidence is really important, but there's a thin line between confidence and arrogance, and you got to try to stay on that
Yeah.
line.
Yes.
Staying on that line, so that way, because if you're too arrogant, it's actually better to be a little arrogant than to not be confident. Because if you're not confident, you're not going to make it. But if you're arrogant, then you're not going to be able to properly critique yourself. So just being on that line and working really hard, obviously, practicing really hard at what you do, and that's a part of that balance in your attitude. You accept the fact that you have to work really hard if you want to do anything.
Well, that's true, and your hard work is definitely evident. If I'd love to know just your new EP. It's called 1,000 Miles Acoustic. Just came out recently. I was wondering what led to that.
It's a long time in the making, and I should have done it sooner. It's just songs that I've written and that I've been playing, but I just needed, I wanted to get them recorded. So, yeah, they're just, I wanted to have an acoustic EP. Actually, when I went on tour, I wanted to have something that I could also promote and, for people to listen to when I'm out there playing my songs. I want them to be able to go and download something of me. So I got that recorded, and we're working on an album right now, actually, and
Excellent.
that we're going to be coming out with soon. It's going to be a full band album, unlike the acoustic album that's out now, but it's a full band album that'll be out very soon.
Well, definitely excited about that. And Jordan, as I understand right now, you're going to share a song off of your EP called Don't You Ever. We're looking forward to that.
Online coffee break.
want you and I need you out of my mind. I see you and leave you in my mind. All those days I spent was happiness. Now those days are gone and so don't you ever think of me and what we've been. Don't you ever think of me, yeah. Nothing without you, like ass with no Pikachu. So what am I gonna do without you? Don't you all those days I spent thinking of you was happy days. Now those days are all gone and so are you. Don't you ever think of me and what we've been. Don't you ever think of me, yeah. Don't you ever think of me and what we've been. Don't you ever think of me, yeah.
Online Coffee Break.
Wow, Jordan is incredibly talented. His new EP, 1,000 Miles Acoustic, is now available on iTunes and Spotify. If you'd like to find more about Jordan or his band, just go to his website, jordangillismusic.com. I want to thank Jordan for joining us today. I want to thank you for joining us as well. If you'd like to comment on today's topic, just go to our website, onlinecoffeebreak.com. We also love it if you comment and follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Online Coffee Break. Also, if you can rate us on your favorite podcast application or share this episode with a friend, we'd appreciate that too. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. See you next time. God bless.